JaggerXTC, man. What's poppin'?
Yo, I'm JaggerXTC, down bad, Adderall, gang. And today we have a really special stream to me. We have a good old, dear old friend of ours, a person who's been on my stream before. We have Nikki. We have Nihachu. And I'm really excited. Last time I saw her, we were on Minx's Lover Host together, so that's gonna be cool. We're gonna sit down and have a little bit of discussion. Her and I, a little bit of a talk. A little bit of a chit chat together. Surprise, motherfucker! Thank you so much, Drew, coming in strong, bro. Why the daily down bad sub goal is broken? I don't know, dude. But we're 9 away from the daily down bad sub goal. I appreciate it, Drew. JaggerXTC down bad, Adderall, gang. We're gonna call Nikki here in a minute. She just ended her stream. So I'm letting her breathe for a second, so give it like a couple minutes. I'm gonna call her. Like that girl was streaming for fucking 7 goddamn hours. I could not. And then she's gonna be streaming after this, which is just crazy. Like that is insane. That's dedication. She's taken time out of her busy schedule to be with me, someone who's bringing absolutely no clout. I'm just suckling the little bits of droplets of clout from her. So, shout out to Nikki. She's a real one for that.
1 hour later.
Okay, there you are. There you go. There you go. That was, your camera is so fucking good, dude.
Thank you.
Like, it's like actually good. What do you use? What is it?
Well, the camera is just a Sony, some Sony one, but the lens is like more expensive than the camera. I think the lens was like $2,000.
Nice. So wait, first of all, last time you and I saw each other, it was Minx's Lover Host.
Mm-hmm.
And you were second place, right? Did you like got to the bottom 2?
Yeah, I did.
And you picked host, didn't you?
I did.
Why pick host this time? Why pick host?
I think didn't I not pick host? No, I picked love last time.
Yeah. What changed?
I don't know. I mean, she didn't choose me last time, so I don't really care.
So just like revenge kind of a thing, to get even. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I feel so bad. So I was saying earlier, you were just streaming for 7 fucking hours.
That's why I look so exhausted.
How the fuck do you do that?
I don't know, Jagger. I honestly don't know.
Like, how?
I dropped views.
Yeah.
I dropped views and I dropped subs. So I have to get back to that.
No, honestly, like I can't do longer than like a 2-hour stream at most. Like I really can't. Like I feel like I'm not entertaining. I feel like I'm boring. I feel like if it stops becoming fun for me, I'm like, there's no way it's fun to watch. You know what I mean? Even when there's people like, nah, keep going. I'm like, I just know it's not good. You know what I mean? Like I want to get past that wall because I know that's a big part of the grind. You know what I mean? Is just grinding, like doing those 5-10 hour days. You know what I mean? Those like long ass days. But I can't. Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you actually do it?
I think what it is like, especially with like people like Shroud and QC, they stream for like
ever.
Yeah, they're always live, and I think it's like, most of the time they just sit there.
Yeah.
And their chat will still watch them. So if you have a chat who will just watch you just sit there, then it's fine.
Yeah,
but I have the same problem as you. Like after 2 hours, I'm like, okay, this is my limit. But I luckily had the watch parties, which kind of like forced me to stream longer. And they forced me to have something to do and something to say, like talk about. Yeah. And I think that's what helped me. But normally I also only stream like 2 hours.
Yeah, you can't do like before, like, you were ever on like Lover Host back in the day. Like what was like your average hours of streaming like?
I was still in school.
Okay.
So I streamed like also like 2 hours max.
Everyone's making fun of me. They're like, Jagger's asking, how the fuck do you work longer than an hour, bro? Is basically what I'm saying to you. No, it's okay. Here's the thing. Like, I think you get like, are most of your streams, are they solo streams? Like, would you say a fair amount of yours are solo? It's hard. Like when you're with another person, it's easy to bounce back and forth. When you're kind of, tethered out, like you're done, like they can kind of take over for a minute. It kind of feels nice. You can look at your phone here and there. You know what I mean? You get those like little moments of breathing. But when you're not, like that's so like on you. Like, do you keep like any sort of like list throughout like a stream? Like, okay, when I get kind of bored or hit fatigue, I can do this or that. Like I know I can entertain my chat that way.
Not really. Most of the time I just pump myself full of energy. Like I drank a G Fuel and the Monster can the whole stream.
Okay.
Before that I also had a coffee. So like I just pump myself full with energy, like with caffeine, and try to push through it.
Yeah.
There was like 2 times where I did like kind of phone breaks where I looked at my phone, because if you stream for 7 hours, you will obviously get messages and you have to answer
Yeah.
them at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And then there was that made me so mad. There was this one person that was like, "Get off your phone," and I'm just like sitting there like, I've been sitting here for 7 hours, and you're telling me to get off my phone.
That is
Because,
so
like,
rude.
the thing about that is also, I don't just stream as my job. I am tomorrow, like, I literally in like what, like 8.5 hours, a taxi is gonna pick me up to film for a TV show the whole
Oh
day.
my God. Can you talk
Yeah.
about that TV show at all?
No, not yet.
Okay. Okay. Is it?
But,
Can I ask is it scripted or reality show?
It's like I'm hosting something.
Okay, okay. You don't have to
Yeah.
even say more. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Cool. And how did from what you can say, how did that even kind of come about?
My manager.
Okay, fuck. Shout out to
manager got me
managers,
into-
bro. That's a
Yeah.
good manager. That's a good man. Okay, so would you want to do more like real on-screen work? Like, yeah, I think
Oh,
you talked about that
definitely.
before. Like, you had an interest in acting, right?
Yeah. And I did like a promotion for a cinema here. And it's like a lot of people tell me that like when they go and watch a movie, they see like me promoting that, like before, you
Yeah.
know, like the ads before the cinema.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like stuff like that I've been doing recently. But obviously I have to message my manager back while I'm on stream.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
if
When you're on
he's
there for
like,
8
"Hey,
hours.
by the way, tomorrow you, I don't know, have to bring your own makeup." And I have to say like, "Yeah, okay, sure," or
Yeah.
"No, I can't." Like,
Yeah,
you know,
that makes
stuff like
sense.
But people don't understand that. People don't understand that you have to work outside of just sitting there and
And
streaming.
especially, you know, when you are a female streamer, like, I know it's a classic thing to say, but there is more of a pressure, you know what I mean? Like, why don't you look always hot? You know what I mean? Like, why don't, like, where's it, what's with the hair today? What's with the makeup? Why don't you look happy? It's like, nobody gives a fuck how I look. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, no, like, I wear the same beanie every, like, fucking, like, think of, I look like a cartoon character where I'm in the same fucking thing. They don't really even care. Like, they'll make a joke of it here or there. If you did that shit, you would be dragged. You would be dragged through the fucking mud. Like, do you ever get like self-conscious in the way of like, oh my God, I've even worn this thing too many times? Like,
all
yeah.
the time. There's this one dress that I've been wearing like all the time, and like Chad hasn't pointed it out yet, but I'm just like, I know I've been wearing the same thing. I just really like it. I promise I wash it and stuff like that. Today, actually, I posted a picture on my alt.
Okay.
I posted, where is it? Let me find it. I posted this tweet with this picture.
Okay.
And, you know, people would be like, you know, normally people would just write normal things about it, but I already saw like so many people, like one person was like, "Oh, yeah, you should be dragged for the war crimes you've committed against your hair."
What
Sister,
the fuck?
this picture was taken when I just woke up. I literally hadn't
That's
woken up
so-
and not brushed my hair yet.
That's
like, stuff
so
like
dirty.
that.
That's so fucking dirty. Cause like, no, and I know it's a classic thing of like, no one would say that to somebody's face, but nobody would. You know what I mean? Like, nobody would actually walk up to some girl and be like, "What's with your hair? What the fuck you do to it today? What's wrong with?" Like, that is so fucking crazy. That is so fucking wild. It's just the audacity of that is insane to me. I'm just a little bit of a side question, but I keep thinking about you and acting and stuff. And like,
Okay.
like if you had to like, I'm sure like when you were a kid, you probably like, I don't know, maybe Harry Potter or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Everyone had like one of those movie series. What would be your dream if you could have been in like an actress in one of them? Like what big movie franchise or TV franchise you're like, oh, I wish I could have been in like an actress in that universe. Like that would be so cool career-wise, like any from the past or even now.
I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay, you
That
want to
would
go
be so
Marvel,
cool.
big money.
Yeah.
Okay,
That would be so
what hero would you want to be?
Good question. I don't know. Honestly, like any strong female
Okay.
superhero, I don't even care.
What about
Yeah.
She-Hulk? The idea of you as She-Hulk is so fucking funny. It's so
I'd do
fucking.
it.
Would you
I'd
do
do
it?
it.
Seriously, if Marvel got in touch with you and they're like, "Hey, look, we're trying to bring in, you know, this sort of new wave of like these online influencers, and we're looking at you and we're thinking She-Hulk. Like we're
I do
thinking.
I'm not the biggest fan of Hulk, and I've never like read She-Hulk or
Yeah.
anything, but I do it.
See, what I like about this though,
She's hot too, you know.
I'm gonna pretend to be your manager for a second here, okay? Because this is how
Yeah.
we would get that pitch for Marvel, right? I'm like, okay, that's a fire pitch, but here's how we're gonna bring in the real money, okay? I'm gonna be like, look, I'm gonna give you 2 influencers, okay, for some big bucks. We're gonna get Nikki. She's gonna be the face of She-Hulk, you know, as the main character, whatever She-Hulk's name is. I don't even know what She-Hulk's real name is, right? But like Bruce Banner is like regular Hulk, so whatever female, you know, She-Hulk's like, right? We're gonna get you as like, you know, regular her scientist, her day to day, whatever the fuck. But your body double and the person that's going to play you as regular Hulk, regular She-Hulk, is going to be just a minx. And she's going to just be painted green, no CGI needed. She's tall, she's broad. She'll be the perfect fucking role for She-Hulk, like for like the Hulk version. And again, they're getting 2 influencers. And again, like I like the idea of like yours and Minx's brands kind of merging. You guys do a lot of stuff together. People like it, you know, it's cute, you know, it can get weird. I've seen the not safe for work Reddits before. They get fucking weird. They get out there. The artwork sometimes is beautiful. That's what's fucked up about it. Like sometimes there'll be some disgusting shit with some gorgeous artwork. You're like, you're wasting talent. You're wasting talent.
Not just that, also the Photoshop skill on these people. You
Oh
know?
my-
You could use that for something good, but no, you do it to Photoshop girls' pictures.
I
and
want you
make
to, I
it
want you to
look-
think. Imagine spending 6 hours trying to give yourself fake breasts right now. You know what I mean? That is
6 hours
insane.
giving me fake nipples, like.
No, that is like the like I want to know the Joker origin story of how that started. You know what I mean? Like what was the first time they opened up, they saved the phone, go, okay, Photoshop and titties on it today. You know, like how does that even begin to be a thing?
So down bad,
Because that's
They
that's a
just really want
skill.
to see me nipples, but they can't. So
Like-
they have to do it themselves.
Writing fan fictions, anyone can write for the most part. You know what I mean? And yeah, some people can write well, but to really be well at like a Photoshop, like that's a skill. Like that's some grind. You know what I mean? That's some hours, and I couldn't do it well. I couldn't do it well. Like, okay, I have a question for you. Have you ever been in like, you know, obviously before, you know, your little rise to success, would you ever been like a stan in a community? Like, have you ever been like, were you ever like no community you were ever like a crazy diehard in?
I had a friend who was in the K-pop community, so I like saw stuff.
That's
of
my
that
trigger
'cause I
word.
followed her. Oh yeah. I
Go on, it's funny.
But yeah, my friend was like a diehard K-pop stan, and she was like in the K-pop community and stuff.
Okay. So you've never written fan fiction or anything like that? No. Were you on? You weren't. I think we talked about it before. Were you a
Also,
Tumblr girl? Were you on Tumblr?
I was a Tumblr. I was on
Okay.
Tumblr, but I was on Tumblr for the depressing shit.
Do you
I
miss
wasn't
it?
on Tumblr for any fun. Sometimes I do. Like I was okay, very very personal. But I was on ED Twitter, so I was on
Yup.
eating disorder Twitter,
Yup.
and that's something that I sometimes miss.
Yep. No, I mean, I see, honestly, when it comes to the eating disorder stuff, I've seen a big rise that again on like TikTok. Like TikTok in a
Yes.
weird way. I do feel like I've had this discussion a lot with my girlfriend before too, where I feel like TikTok is the future of social media. Like I really feel like it's all going to start merging into something like that. And I think especially a company loves that they can just feed you whatever they want on that main feed. It operates very different than any other main feed, you know? And I think slowly over time, we're going to see more and more social media just operating like TikTok, but you see crazy fucked up communities there. Like a ton of community, like honestly, some of the most like I love some internet drama. You know what I mean? Like any person. Some of the most interesting internet drama for the past 2 years has been TikTok. When you think of like even how much influence the music industry like has been going through, it's all been TikTok. Like TikTok has changed the music industry, right? Like completely changed Spotify and everything. Streaming numbers. TikTok can blow up any artist now. You know what I mean? If you get some shit going off like that.
I mean, literally at this point, artists are just going for the TikTok.
And they're
trend.
paying
Like,
TikTokers to use their music.
Lovejoy- Yeah, like Lovejoy is like if we get one song on TikTok, we're good. You know?
We're good,
And everyone
exactly.
is TikTok. Bella Poarch comes from TikTok. Obviously knows where TikTok, like what TikTok wants. Does music for TikTok.
Yeah.
Fucking all the SoundCloud rappers nowadays.
Yeah, I
do
know.
stuff
I mean,
for
even
TikTok.
like, you know, Corpse was like really good friends with like a lot of TikTok girls, right? And so then they all start, and then boom, that huge rise of that too. You know, it's like so many artists are just blowing up from TikTok, and it's just completely like changed it. And I guess that was one of the things I've always wanted to like kind of talk to you about. Do you ever miss like, and you don't have to say if you do have any like private accounts, because I know everyone has some alts, but do you ever miss just being able to post on social media and nobody cared, nobody try to look for any of your stuff, like just being able to blindly, you know what I mean, put it all out there and like just be who gives a fuck online? Like, do you miss it?
Definitely.
And do you ever get
I,
tempted
like,
to make a random anonymous account again and just be like able to throw things at it? Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I like, oh my God, the amount of times that, not just even like the toxic Twitters, like obviously like when I fall back into like my bad eating disorder, I'm like, oh, what if I like join one of the communities that like triggered me so hard into being bad? But like also just making a private account where I can just be like, I'm sad, stuff like that. I do miss it. But at the end of the day, I realize it's really toxic. You shouldn't
Yeah.
put it on social media regardless. I'm just gonna eat it up.
The healthy way, burying it
Healthy,
deep down inside. Well, another thing was, see, with the eating disorder community, from like what I remember and what I know about it, like a big part of the way that they would help motivate each other was like shaming each other. Do you know what I mean? Like they'd be like, "Oh my God, you're such a pig for eating that," blah 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 blah. Like they would do devious shit, but that was like they all did it to each other. It was just like making you feel awful, so you just don't eat, or if it was bulimic, you know what I mean? Like a bunch of different ways. And what, like, when did you kind of, like, I get it's tempting, but when did you kind of leave that? When did you stop going to communities like that?
Honestly, when I had my blow up on Twitch.
Yeah, that's like when
because like I was always on there. Like when I recovered, like I'm still not fully recovered, probably never will be, but like when I like kind of recovered, I was still on it, and I would still scroll through it, and I would still read everything. I wouldn't post it, but then when I had like my big blow up, I was like, fuck, what if someone finds it? And that was when I deactivated the account.
Well, what's crazy and it's kind of scary about communities like that, and it's like any online community, whether it's like, your little local friend Discord group, it's you make friends, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? You do make friends in those communities. You make these relationships, these bonds. Like I remember, like, I dated a girl like back when, like, my first girlfriend ever. She was like super a Tumblr person, and she would follow people for years that were original girls and like eating disorder stuff, and like you follow them forever out of like curiosity, like what their lives are to. Next thing you know, they're on heroin. Like it's like their lives take the craziest turns, or they stop it. Like you see, and it's fun in the way of like you've been a part of this community, but when your community is so fucked up like that, and it's just really only harming yourself, it is addicting. It's like a drug. You know what I mean? And it's easy to like relapse going back to something like that. Not just eating disorder in general, but like the community of an eating disorder group too is like really, really interesting. It's crazy. It's really interesting because it's always been the most. I can't explain it, but there's a few groups that for me internet lore always goes back to. It's the game RuneScape and fucking eating disorder Tumblr for some reason. Like I always, so much stuff always goes back to Tumblr and RuneScape for me that I always run into, like that loop.
Yeah. I was never into RuneScape, so I don't know about RuneScape.
Oh,
but
it always goes
eating
back.
disorder Tumblr and Twitter. Fucking, I like my tattoo. This tattoo that I have
Okay.
is about my best friend who jumped off a window, not a window, a building, and
God.
passed away sadly. And I met them in the eating disorder Instagram.
See?
Back then. So like shit like that. You make friends. Like a lot of them are anonymous and you don't know them, but then you meet like genuine people and people you know for years. That you
Do you mind
really know.
if I ask about that?
Yeah. No.
When did that happen?
I was 11.
Oh my God. So wait, 11? And you're 19, right? You're 19 now.
Yeah.
So like 8 years. First of all, 11 years old and in a fucking eating disorder community. How does that even happen? Like how do you even join the eating disorder community at 11? We talked about my fucked up past. Yeah.
You and I literally have like such a similar.
No, I get it, bro. Fucked up childhood, just awful.
Yeah, and I think it's just, no one was there for me, and then I found people who had similar issues, and they were there for me.
Yeah.
And so that's why it was also so hard to like quit all of these communities, because it's been so long.
Yeah.
But
it's
yeah,
your comfort. It's and especially when you're 11, I bet like your only idea really of the core community of the internet is like an eating disorder group. You know what I mean? To a lot of these really bad communities. And the thing is, it's like all of you are there with a similar problem, you know, and they're not bad people, but the effect you're all having on each other is only negative too, right? It's all just feeding into each other's addictions. It's like the same they say with drug addicts. Like drug addicts really shouldn't be around too much other drug addicts, so they're way more likely to fall back into those old routines and stuff. And I can imagine it's probably similar to that. You're just in like this echo chamber, but you make friends. I mean, that's 11 years old. So wait, was this always on Tumblr, or was this like DeviantArt? Like, was it like some other website at first, or just pretty much Tumblr?
I think I found the first Tumblr post when I was 9. And from there, I started following people.
Yeah.
And then people started talking about how there's Twitter communities of it.
Yeah.
And through that, I found Twitter communities. And then I was like, I wonder if other social medias I'm on have like similar communities. And that's how I found the Instagram community. So it was Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yeah.
Which I was mainly on.
Yeah, no, that's like, and it's crazy because there were a few like of those like really, because it was mostly a lot of females in those groups, right? And especially the most popular accounts were a lot of girl accounts. But I remember there was a few that got really, really famous from like eating disorder stuff. Like what was her name? I know there's like drama stuff about her. Not even getting into that, but like Eugenia Cooney, is that a name I'm thinking of? Was she was a really she did an interview. Is she still like that? Is she still going through that? Or okay, I thought I don't know why I had a memory of her like getting past all that for some reason. I thought
she was for a bit.
She was for a bit. She
was forced to recovery, and now she's horrible. I can send you her last Twitter post, honestly. You want to see. It's a surprise she's still alive. Literally, this is her last thumbnail.
You sending it to me?
On Discord.
Hell yeah, I'll show chat real quick. Okay.
Like she's still on like Twitch and everything. So.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy. That's sad. That's really sad. That's a hard one, and it's again, there's communities like that I don't think will ever go away. You know, they're always going to be there, and they're always lurking. And I'm seeing even people talk about like in like TikTok, for example, and that is kind of scary. It's like it just randomly pops up on some kids For You page, right? And it's how it works. Like we all fell down. I feel like how we got here to whatever position we are in life online. It's just some weird rabbit hole we happen to fall down in online. Like there's some talent, there's some things like that. You made the right connection, but in a weird way, it is you just fell down this landslide, you know what I mean, like the slide that led you to here, and you can fall down some really bad ones, and it can just be just that easy. It's like it's on some 13-year-old's TikTok For You page that might already be a kid that has suffers with like that self-esteem stuff. I'm sure a lot of it circles back to self-esteem issues and body image issues, and like I mean I've even heard of like I didn't even know this was a term, facial dysmorphia, until like this year. I just thought it was just all body dysmorphia, but there's even facial dysmorphia. Like that's even a thing. Like that is just that's crazy. It's crazy. It's so sad. It's so fucking sad. So that's something that's still tempting. Okay. And you got that tattoo then how old?
I got it literally like a month or 2 ago.
Oh shit.
So 19. Yeah.
Oh, was that when you all got tattoos together or no?
No, that was after.
Okay.
I got this one after. Yeah.
Because Minx has. You tattooed Minx, right? Like you drew like the tattoo that's on her?
No, I didn't. I was supposed to at first, but I was really drunk during that time, and then I wasn't home, so I didn't.
Okay, so you didn't. I don't know why. So no one has any art of yours tattooed on them? I get one. No. I get your art tattooed on me. I would. That'd be fire as fuck. No, that'd be cool as fuck. I wouldn't. I have stupid tattoos though, so like I wouldn't even care. Like I wouldn't even like. What's like? Do you have like a like? Do you want more tattoos?
I literally have a tattoo appointment on Friday.
Where? What spot? Your body?
So you know how I like have this one?
Yeah.
And I want to have a similar one here, but with Flat Soft, the Sleep album.
Okay, that's cool. I like that. How many tattoos do you think you want in life? Do you want like a full sleeve ever, or just like a few?
I think I want to. Do you know how like people have like the spots like?
Yes.
Yes. I want to start something like that.
Just something like that. Okay. And do you want to keep that style of like that simple, like just like black, like just clean? It's very clean.
I don't know if I can show. Yeah, I have an elephant here too.
Oh, that's cool as fuck. That's actually really cool. What the fuck? That's cool. See, your skin tone, fucking people like you are so lucky because your skin tone, you're like a canvas. You know what I mean? Like all the color just looks good on you. Like right now, I am pale for me right now. Like color starts to look funky on me. Like some stuff starts to look, tattoos can start looking weird on me. You guys are like, you're a fucking canvas that way. That is really fucking cool.
Have you thought about like different colors though, like red or something?
See, I thought about like, so like I have a few tattoos. Like I have like, I'm showing my stream right now. Like I have like this, like the only things that have color on my tattoos are like anything with an eye. Like, so only the eyes have color on my tattoos, and they're all like blue. So I don't know. Maybe I want more tattoos. Like I do want more because I just look stamped on. I feel like I look really fucking just stamped on randomly. But I got tattoos really young. Like I was like 15, 16 when I first got a tattoo, and I mean I regret almost all of them. Pretty much every tattoo of mine I absolutely regret. There was no thought or planning. It was, I went in and just, that's it. You know what I mean? There was no no meaning to any of it. It's just random, just completely random, just like completely actually random. So what's you got pink in your hair now?
Yeah, I have pink and black.
Okay, that's cool. Do you dye your own hair, or do you get it done?
No, I dye my own hair. I haven't been to a hairdresser in years.
Okay. How do you dye your own hair? Do you have to use a mirror? Like, how the fuck do you even?
So bleaching does Rihanna. Rihanna
Okay.
bleaches it for me, and
Okay.
I just. The thing is, I'm mentally ill, so what my brain goes to is if it looks bad, either I don't care or I shave it off,
Yeah.
or I just dye over it. Like I just go black.
Yeah.
So like I think the secret in it is just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like
No,
people
just
are
don't
always like,
care.
how do you cut your hair? How do you dye your hair? And I'm just like, one, I've been doing it for years. Like I've had dyed hair ever since I was 11.
Mm-hmm.
And two, at this point, I don't give a shit anymore.
Just don't even care anymore. I get what you mean. Like I feel like, you know, like there's some stuff, like even like my girlfriend and stuff, like she'll notice or say about, like, you know, when she cuts her own bangs or some shit like that, she's like, oh, they're uneven. I would never notice in a million, like I think most people just wouldn't think, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, there's a strand that's not perfectly dyed, right? It's like no one even cares. And circling back just like a little bit to like when we were talking earlier, I wanted to ask you, oh my god, I'm having a brain fart. What the fuck? No, oh my god, I had such a thing. Oh my god, I'm gonna go insane, Nikki. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna actually throw up. I had something. I was like, I wanted to ask you this. So, numbers. There you go. Back to numbers. Because I know, again, today you've been streaming. I feel so bad for like over 7 hours and everything. And you were saying basically like, you know, it's funny. I feel like when numbers are doing really well, like really, really well, especially with like streaming and stuff, you don't even notice it. But you notice it when they're not doing as well. And that's what's so fucked up. I feel like you're a person like this naturally too. I can never give myself any sort of pat on the back, like when I'm doing well or things are going good. Like I don't ever get that good feeling. And I don't know if that's just, you know, just a me thing, or if that's an everyone thing or a select some people thing. But all I know is how to feel bad. I only know how to feel really shit, like just shit. And no one can hurt my feelings worse than I can, you know, and I'm sure it's the same with you, right? No one could ever hurt you as bad as you can hurt you. And I am addicted to hurting me, like in every kind of way. And I know you are a person like that too. So in fucked ways, I almost like when I'm doing really bad in life. Like I enjoy it a little bit just because it's an addicting feeling. And I don't know if that's like kind of what you're going through right now too, because I get it. You're on the grind right now.
Yeah, no, definitely. I 100% agree with it. And it's like you said, like, yeah, it does feel good in a way because it like confirms something that I always think, and that is that I don't deserve it, and it won't work out anyways, and I am shit, you know, like all those thoughts, like it feels good, like it feels horrible, obviously, and you don't want to technically feel horrible, but also it feels good because it proves me right, it proves my thoughts right. It's like I'm doing bad, and I have to like this right now is punishment for me because I'm doing bad. You know? Like not this stream right now, like streaming for 7 hours. Like, I never would have thought about streaming in 7 hours. For 7 hours.
No, and I think people just think like, you know, you know, you get 1 million followers on your Twitter account and this platform, that platform. It's smooth sailing. It's never ending. It's a constant. It's never ending. It just doesn't. It never gets easier. easier. It never actually gets easier. It just gets different. You know what I mean? And you get some more attention and just more pressure, right? And I can imagine that. And then you almost like, you look back and like, I know this just from my experience with Minx, right? Like when she would live with me, like at times, like even before she super blew up, she would get hosted or rated or would do a random stream and she would get like 70 to 100 viewers and she would freak the fuck out. She'd be like, oh my God, this is huge. You know what I mean? This is huge. And then you start, you know, things start changing. You get like a big career. Next thing you know, you're getting thousands and thousands and you're numb. You're just numb to it. You're just numb to it. And then next thing you know, like you're getting like tens of thousands and you still get numb to it. But the moment it drops, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And then it's just, again, going back to that, it's me, it's because I'm not this. I just finally realize it. I'm only getting this because of that. And yeah, but it's just a never ending grind. It is a real job, you know, when people talk about like, oh, you need it's hard. It's a lot. It's an intimate job too. It's a very personal, intimate thing. And a thing where you're constantly just scared too. And I especially bet from like, you know, not even, I think people are too easy just to always shit on like the Minecraft community, but not even shitting on that. Like, but it is scary. You know what I mean? Because, you know, there is just some wild ones, some wild ones. But you've always had a nice community. You've always had a pretty good community.
I can tell you so much about all of this. I recently found out some stuff that makes my blood boil.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Some shit that just blood boiling stuff. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, as you said, like, yeah, it doesn't get easier. And like, the more people you have in your stream, the more eyes you have on you. But the problem with it also is that the eyes don't go away, but the viewers go away. So like, I cried on MC, like on my stream the other day, right?
Really?
And I had, because my stress response is crying.
Okay, same.
I didn't have my average view. I had lower than average viewers, and my chat was fine. My chat was okay with it. They were like, yeah, you know, hope you feel better. Like, we understand. And then I go on Twitter, and I see myself trending.
Oh
and
my
I see
God.
all these people being like, she always cries. She's so dramatic. People who don't even follow me talking about me.
Yeah.
People who don't watch my streams, I know they don't watch my streams, talking about me. So the viewers go away, but the people talking about you will never go away.
Will never go away. That's really interesting. That's an interesting perspective.
People love to bully. Twitter loves to bully, but then like be those righteous people.
Yes, no,
that,
it's so crazy because they're the most anti-bully people.
If you drive me to off myself because of your horrible comments, think again about being a bully. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
Fucking the thing that makes my blood boil, Jagger.
Yeah.
There's a few parts of Twitter that I like communities of Twitter. We talked about communities, and these communities are fucking toxic. There's a few like private quote retweeters you have.
That should not be a thing. That should not be a thing. They should not be allowed to like be on a private account to quote retweet. Like that should be, yeah, go on.
I know. There's a Twitter community completely revolving about leaking people's private lives.
Oh my God.
There's people. Oh my God, these people are so weird. They're assuming they're assuming the sexualities of my friends that I know personally, and I know that it's not right. Like, I know that the sexualities they're assuming of these people are not correct because I know these people personally and I see them every week, you know? And it's so fucking weird. And then like I have read a tweet the other day of that community because sometimes I accidentally land on it when I browse through Twitter and I'm just like, what the fuck? So I go through it. And I saw this tweet that was like, oh, I can't believe that like people someone was like, why would you leak IPs? And then that person on that Twitter was like, it's literally called leak Twitter. If you don't like it, then go away. And it's like, you're leaking IPs.
You're leaking IPs, literally.
It's like,
that's fucking crazy.
Like stuff like that, like horrible stuff I don't even want to talk about on stream.
No, I get it. Like, first, thank you so much, Live, for the raid. I appreciate it. But when I was back in like 2019, and I've talked about this a bit on stream, even Minx has talked about this, I was making a documentary on like one of the most controversial streamers of all time. Like, he used to be one of the biggest streamers. He's banned and everything like that. Very, very known streamer. But he had a very like toxic community, right? Like, honestly, like there was some. It was really fun at times, but he had some really like some bad community. And it was the most most intimate community. And honestly, there's a lot of similarities that I see between this. And again, not trying to say it's just all the Minecrafters, but yeah, you know, like some Minecraft communities, some of those people, and in the worst ways. And what you're talking about when they would come up with like theories, they would make these elaborate theories they have on people, and like sometimes it'd be sexuality, sometimes it'd be like a straight up they're scamming. Here's the scam. And it's like you're giving some of these people way too much credit. Like when I would see like these crazy, because they were on Reddit mostly, and they would have these long Reddit threads, and they'd be like, "This is what's really going on," and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, if
Reddit
only
used
you
to be
knew.
horrible.
Because some of the stuff that they would get right, I'd be like, "Whoa, that's crazy." But they would get 2% right and 98% wrong, and it's the 98% of shit that people pay attention to. And I imagine it's the same like that. And it's crazy how a lot of this has migrated to Twitter. You see it a lot on Twitter now. It's really interesting. And again, they work in such ways. I think a lot of it does come, and not me shitting on K-pop again. Never again. I will never talk about K-pop again. But they have a lot of similarities with those K-pop communities that way, like the way they just hive mind and rush in together.
Yeah, like coming from someone who's like back then best friend was big
K-pop.
in like K-pop community, and I used to listen to K-pop. I knew some stuff like going around in K-pop, and there were bad communities around K-pop. I don't know if it still is, but there were bad communities about K-pop stans. And yeah, there is a lot of similarities to MCYT and K-pop, the K-pop community, stan community, especially like what did I want to say? I forgot.
It's okay.
I forgot what it was.
Well, it's okay.
But
I'm
yeah,
just gonna
no,
ask, like, what do you think is a way to solve it? Like, how would you solve the issue of these communities?
Remove private quote retweets.
Okay.
Monitor Twitter better. Get better Twitter moderators. If you see fucking Twitter, like people on Twitter leaking IPs, leaking people's addresses.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's just doxing and beyond. Yeah.
Doxing people is illegal. If you leak a streamer's address who hasn't put their address out there, that's illegal. If you leak their full name, if they haven't put out their full name, that's illegal.
Crazy.
If you leak someone's face, if they haven't put out their face, that is illegal. You are doing illegal shit on Twitter, and Twitter needs better moderators. Twitter needs to also be better with getting children off that platform. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying most of those people are children, because most of those people, that's the horrifying thing,
aren't they? Yeah, no, that's what's weird about it. No. And there's and the thing about it is, again, like we were talking about falling down a loophole. Then you're like, you know, an impressionable 12, 13-year-old, 14-year-old on this website, and you become super good at it. And their brain's like a sponge. You know what I mean? They get amazing at doxing people and next thing you know, now they're not 12 and 14 anymore. Now they're 16, 18, 20, 22, and they're still acting like this. And now you just set up a whole generation just to honestly be a piece of shit. Because if any other person was scrutinized this way and looked under such a, you'll find a flaw. You're gonna find something, and it's just crazy. It's just really unfair. And well, my other question about that then is, do you think there's any sort of responsibility on like the creator, to like the content creator, entertainer, to like basically police our community in a sense of like, hey guys, like, is there even a way to do it, or is it just gonna go that way?
I think it's very scary. Like, I think most of like the content creators that I talked about on these Twitter pages, because I'm not really talked about on these Twitter pages. I saw like a few minor tweets, like people don't really care about me, which is fair enough. But it's mostly like the bigger people. And I think it's fucking scary if you are that person and you know that there's so much information about you and so much misinformation about you that could potentially ruin your life. Talking about that is at this point scarier than not talking about it. Yeah. Like, imagine just a hypothetical, honestly hypothetical, I have no idea. I'm not talking out of any experience or any fact. But imagine you have a homophobic family. Yeah. And you are straight. You yourself, you know you're straight. Yeah. And you have a homophobic family, and imagine now there's people on Twitter being like, he's gay, oh my god, he's so cute with the boyfriends and stuff like that, like, they're so fucked, like stuff like that, and your family sees that and they're like, what is this? And you know it's not true, but then you have this like whole like your whole social circle. No,
and like your family starts to see this stuff, and no, that makes sense.
That's how it is with me and NSFW, like the NSFW community. Like, I talk about it personally, but I know how fucking scary it is because I talk about it. Yeah. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a psychiatrist. Yeah. And me at 18, 19 years old has fake
nudes,
and
fake porn. Yeah, oh my
herself
god,
on the internet.
that is so crazy. No, it is really
Exactly.
fucked up. No, it is horrible. Like that is horrible. Like on the surface, like, yeah, we can sit here and be like, oh my god, we're laughing, but no, it is horrible. Like that is honestly
it's
disgusting.
fucking scary.
And I think that the best way that people can realize how bad it is, it's like take like for example you, Nikki, like out of the equation as like a content creator, and imagine it was like your mom or your sister. You know what I mean? Imagine it was your own mom or your sister, and you're sitting there and you're finding out like thousands of people are making fake porn. Like, and when they look up your sister's name, they see porn now, you know, and it looks real too. Like some of it looks real. Like it looks real.
So
it
real.
looks fucking
people
real.
Send it to me all the time, and like I have to look twice to see if that's actually.
And
me,
it like the deep
yeah.
fake stuff is only getting like with technology, it's only getting more real. And I think that's going to be really interesting. I think it's going to affect the future of everything. This is kind of like almost conspiracy a little bit, but imagine like one day, I mean, you could pin a murder on somebody, you know, if that technology gets so good. Imagine it's like, look, we have video of, you know, Nikki murdering Jagger right there. Like, what do you mean? We have video evidence, but it's just bullshit, you know, it's just complete bullshit. And it's just getting better and better.
What do you do at that point?
What do you do?
Yeah. And like, another thing is like, I again forgot what I wanted to say.
It's at 7 hours. Don't even worry about it.
7 hours.
I feel that. What? Go.
The people that do this, because they know it's wrong. Because it is wrong. It is.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of upbringing you have, you know it's wrong. But their excuse is, but you decided to be a content creator. It's your own fault because you put yourself out there on the internet. That is what they say. No
one puts themselves out there to be crucified. You know what I mean? No one puts themselves out there to be crucified like that. Nobody in the world. Like nobody in the world. And that's what it's become. And I feel like it was not always the culture of online like that, you know? And it's not even like to me, because like I there are some genuine moments where I'm like, okay, that person so deserves to be canceled. They so deserve to be actually even deplatformed. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like they're just like for one, I'll say with my full chest out, I think, and it's crazy because everyone knows who this person is, an Onision, right? Like oh my god, like for you to do a real deep dive on all the Onision shit would take hours, you know. There's just years and years and years and just years. That's a case I super get it. I super fucking understand. Honestly, super understand it. And then there's just some other shit where you're like, how is this even and then most of the time you'll click on the tag and it's not even a real thing. It's most people even saying, oh, this is even dumb, you know, this is dumb. But it doesn't matter because now it's trending, you know, and that's all people see. And that's all people hear is, oh, did you hear blah, blah, blah got canceled for this? Doesn't matter that 98% of the people don't even agree with it. It's just that 98% of those people are tweeting about it and now it's just fucking trending everywhere. And I guess that's a double-edged sword, especially with like it's so crazy how like, again, I've been working with YouTubers and shit since I was 16, but how content creators have just dominated everything, you know, like you guys are the shit that trends all the time. I mean, especially your little circle too. Every other week, you know what I mean? At least one of you is trended in a week. At least one of you is trending on Twitter. And that was not always the case, you know, like when we were younger, being a Twitch streamer and YouTube, liking YouTube shit was way more niche, like way more niche. Like I couldn't have thought in a million years if I was like back in like 2012, you know, that PewDiePie would trend every other day, you know, like that would never even be a thing. I'm like, my parents would never know about it, but now a name like PewDiePie is a household name, you know, it's just different. And I think we're finally seeing that transition with the internet and like mainstream like fame and stuff where it's just all the same thing now, especially now that everything's on streaming services. It's all online anyways. It's all online, you know. It's over. This idea of like, to be really famous, you have to be on the big screen, you know. You have to be on an HBO or this network. And no, dude, not anymore. All those companies are now trying to get big influencers and big streamers and big YouTubers to be on their shit, to bring in the audience. And so it's just that we're just in this weird transitional point into that, honestly. And that's what I think is cool about you. I totally could see you being like an actress. I could totally see you having a real acting career. And I think, again, when we look back on the history of all this, like you're going to be in that generation, that phase where things were really changing online to be real mainstream, just because you're fucking trending all the time. Like you're trending all the time. Like that must be weird. That must be super fucking weird. That must never get normal.
Even seeing people with my face as a profile picture, like imagine, like
it's so fucking weird.
What was it last time? I mean, it happens all the time. Honestly, I just like I scroll. I'm in a fucking YouTube video that has nothing to do with anything. A YouTube video that I watch. Like, what do I watch? Like, I don't know, movie reviews. I love movie reviews.
Same.
And yeah, and I watch those, and I scroll down to the comments, and I see a Nihachu profile picture. I'm like, that's me. Like, you know, stuff like that, where it's like, that's me.
Yeah.
You know, that's my face and that random person and that random
You know,
comment
I
on
have
that random video.
two questions to ask you, because like some of my YouTuber friends, like some of the stuff they like doing, just, you know, when they have like a big YouTube channel, they'll go and find a video with like no views on it. You know what I mean? You go and find a video that got like 200 views, 1,000 views, and they'll comment on it. Do you ever do shit like that just to freak somebody out? Because you know they're gonna see them and be like, what the fuck is this person doing here? Like, do you ever get that way?
I used to go into small streams.
Okay.
And like, you know, just be there like, hi, that's a cool stream, or like sub or like something like that. I used to do that.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I would still do it, but I don't have time.
Yeah, no,
That's
I get
mainly
it.
it.
And I bet you don't even want to look at Twitch after you've been streaming for 7 hours. I bet that's the last thing. It's like, okay, now I can go and watch some Twitch. Like, that is no, like, I feel it like when I click on like one of my random friends or something, and I'll see like that time down there, and it's like 7 hours, 5 hours. I'm like, I feel bad for you right now, because there is nobody on this earth that is naturally built to be able to just do that, you know. And maybe you could make the argument some streamers have it easier when they're just a pure video game streamer, right, when they're just playing games and barely even talking chat. But even that's fucking like, you know, when you sit down and play a game for that long, and I'm sure when you're just a pure gamer streamer, there's a lot of other pressure of like being good, you know what I mean? They're just gonna shit on you if you're not good. Like, there's so much other shit into it, so much other shit. So there's just constant pressure, just constant pressure.
Exactly. Like, that's the thing. Like, people are always like, oh, all you have to do is sit in front of your PC all day. And it's like, yeah, but your mom, the secretary, does that too, first of all.
Yeah.
And second of all, I have like thousands of people watching me.
Imagine 3 school full of
comments
people
about me.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you're playing a video game and you can't even, like, I don't know, pick your nose or something, because you know that thousands of people are watching you.
Yes. No,
you know,
the
like,
worst.
you're constantly on. Your brain is on. You're like, people are watching me.
The worst is when you have to sneeze or something. Yes. Yeah, and you're like, I don't want snot to come out of my nose. Like, there's so much just human shit. That's what's like, oh man, YouTubers, like pure YouTubers, are so fucking lucky. They can edit out everything. They can be just squeaky clean. Do you do much YouTube shit?
No, I just I have no idea about YouTube, honestly. All I do is, like, I come up with some video ideas and I do them then. I enjoy my vlogs. I do vlogs.
Okay, I was gonna say, I would love to watch a vlog of yours. Like, what are your vlogs like?
They're just chill vlog.
Just chill?
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like what I'm doing.
Are you doing any traveling soon? Like, you gonna be traveling about? Do you want to go out any other countries?
That's another big stress part in my life. So my ID expired, and I had to send it away to get my visa, which I'm still waiting for the UK because of Brexit. I've been waiting for this.
Because you're from Germany.
Yeah, because I'm from Germany. And I wanted to get my passport the other day, and I had an appointment that I waited for 6 months. I waited for 6 months to this appointment, and I show up there half an hour early with everything there, all the documents I need except for my ID, because I had to send it away for my visa. But I have an email from the government, from the literal government, saying we are in possession of your ID.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll get it back. Blah blah blah. You are a German citizen. Stuff like that. Everything I need. I show up there, hand it to the lady. The lady looks at it and starts screaming at me, being like, "You can't do that here. You need an ID." Like horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm just standing there. I'm like, I've been waiting for this appointment for half a year. My mom's wedding is this month. I need this passport. And I tell her, I'm like, I'm so sorry. The people said that they're gonna send it here as soon as possible. If you can just like already put in like the process of it, and then, you know, it takes 6 months anyway to get the passport, so you can already like put in the process. You'll get it. Here's the email. And she screams at me, and she's like, no, you have to leave this. And then and now I don't have anything again, because I've been waiting for this appointment for 6 months, and I probably once I get my ID will have to wait another 6 months. So I'm just stuck here.
Well, what countries do you want to go to, like, if you had your passport?
I've never been to America.
Visa.
want to go to America?
Hell yeah, please come to America. I want to hang out with you. Please come to America. That would be so much fun. Like, I really want you to. Like, that would be so cool. And I think that'd be good for you. Like, again, I'm a big travel person. Like, I love traveling. Like, that's how I want to spend my money, honestly. Like, I could live in any condition. I don't, like, when I dream about stuff in life and like about like money and success, like, I can live in the shittiest place. Like, I even like a little shithole. Like, I'm cool. I fuck with the little shithole.
Honestly,
You know what I mean? I never need, I don't need and I feel like as a person, you naturally are just going to go to 1 or 2 rooms anyways, like you really fuck with, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I like a nice kitchen. Like, who doesn't like a nice kitchen? But like, I don't care otherwise. Like, to me, it's about just, I want to travel. Like, I'm such a traveling person, and I think it's so important. And I think like me traveling when I was like 19 in my early first in my 20s and stuff, again, like just a little bit older than you at the time, really changed my life. I think it gave me a really different perspective on life. Like, it really, really did. And I know that's like, just travel, you just gotta experience, like, but no, there's some truth to it, you know. You really do see how other cultures work and how other places, you know, think, and it is a little bit different, you know, especially when my idea of life was always like places like Las Vegas and Los Angeles and Seattle, you know, like all these big cities in America. And then like I lived in like a small little town in England for like 6 months to almost a year, you know. Like, it was a weird time. It was a really, and traveling around like Europe and going to even to Ireland. Like, have you ever been to Ireland?
No.
From what I know from all my British friends that have been over to, it's like England in the 80s, basically, is what it looks like. Yeah, like all the technology's kind of old in terms of like the street stuff and like the roads. It just looks like England in the 80s. But there's even the people difference is kind of fun. Mm-hmm. Do you miss Germany?
I miss my family. I haven't seen my family in 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, fun. And COVID and everything.
I was never a family person because I've moved like every half a year, and also growing up in a shitty, you know, upbringing, I was never close to my family. But my mom, I can say it here. I couldn't say it on my whole own stream because I feel like Jagger stream is a little bit of a safe space.
Yeah.
But my mom recently got diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's the 3rd time in her life she has cancer.
Jesus, the 3rd time?
Honestly, she is so sick right now that I don't think she's gonna survive it.
Oh my God, Nikki.
And I haven't seen her in 2 years, so like.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, so you really need to get to Germany, but you can't right now, even if you want to.
Land, but like still, I can't go.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Like,
no, that's I can't even imagine. Like, I get it too. Like my mom, like I was raised by like just a single mom. You know what I mean? And like that was my like if my mom, like I'd be a mess, dude. Like, I make fun of my mom, like I joke with my mom, like I fuck with my mom all the time, but like no, like that shit is heartbreaking. That is really heartbreaking, you know. And then so God damn, we just need to sneak you in. We need to find a way to get you in there. We just need to find a way. We need to find. So what's now in the process of your visa? Like, what is it looking like?
Well, I still haven't processed it. I need to wait. I think once they have processed it, the problem is because of Brexit, so many people applied for it. And I applied through a different process through a lawyer because of my esports organization, which should have not taken as long, but it's going to take longer.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's going to take a while, but I will get like a certificate saying that my visa is in progress, and then I will be able to travel with it.
Yeah.
So I just have to wait for that.
Yeah. Have you ever had anyone close to you like pass? Well, I mean, obviously you've had some close people pass. Yeah, you have a tattoo about it and everything.
Multiple people.
That's something I've never gone through, really. I've had like one friend die last year of like drugs and stuff like that, but I've never had anyone like actually like pass and I just feel like it's probably I bet you're the same way. Like, again, I'm a person, I like to make myself sad. Like, I'll go and sit and listen to music and I'll think of scenarios in my head, you know what I mean, of this person, you know, something happening or blah blah blah, and the feeling that I'm always left with is like, it just doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the idea of someone just not being there anymore. Like, it just like yeah, I can logically understand it, right? Okay, someone dies, like there you go, it's out. But it is such a weird idea. It is a weird thought, you know. And then you start thinking about, you know, your own like mortality that way, you know, and like one day it is just going to be over. And yeah, maybe you're a person who might naturally, especially when you're a more depressed person, you know, think about suicide and things like that, right? But I think it is still, no matter how suicidal you might be or be in those like headspaces of, it is still weird to think that one day, you know, even you and me aren't going to be here anymore. And like, what is that? Like, that's so weird. Like, what's the point of it, you know? And I know it's like, what's the point? But no, like seriously, it's like it is kind of weird. It is really weird, and that's why I think it's like it's important to remember. It's like right now here with your friends, like sometimes when I'm like super beating up on myself or I'm super sad or super depressed, I'm like, bro, I am in my 20s. This is the prime of my... I'm going to look back in my 40s, assuming I make it to my 40s, and be like, oh, remember that time? Remember when we... And it's like, I need to stop being such a crybaby right now, you know? I just need to be like, this is the most amazing time ever. Like, it just is the most amazing time ever. And that's something I have to constantly remind myself of all the time, because I love being awful to me. It's a fun little sport. It's just good. It's just good, you know? And especially, like, I don't know, like, how it works in my head is, like, when someone compliments me, I'll immediately rush in my head with just the worst thing I could think of about myself, practically. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you work the same too, right? Just shitting on yourself 24/7.
Yeah, it's always the, oh, thank you. And then in my head, I'm like, oh, but like, also, I'm a horrible person.
Yes.
Also, you don't know correctly, so you wouldn't give me a compliment if you actually knew me, like, always.
Yeah,
and
no.
Jack has realized that. Jack and Rihanna have realized that. Where, like, especially Jack, he will give me a compliment. He'll be like, you look really pretty today. And I'll be like, oh, thank you. And he's like, I know you don't mean it. You look really pretty today. Like, he actually,
that's
like,
sweet.
looks me in the eye and he's like,
you look pretty. Yeah, like, I get what you mean. It's like, stop. Like, no, I get that. And it's sad because I do feel like that is honestly just a lot more common in girls. Like, I've seen that. I've known a lot of girls like that. I've dated a lot of girls like that, where it's just, I don't even know what the fuck. I just think, you know, growing up, whatever gender you are, is going to be a bit different. You know, it's a different experience. Yeah. There's pros and cons of each of it. And for some reason, the con that I always see with girls is they all hate themselves. They all, like, in terms of, like, physical look. Like, I have yet to actually meet any girl that is really actually happy about themselves. Like, you know, people joke about, oh, you know, neurotypical people, but I have yet to meet one girl that is actually, like, neurotypical. Like the most neurotypical girl will still have some ED stuff, you know what I mean? They'll still have, and that's so fucked up that's just common. Like, that's just so common, you know? But it must just be the experience.
From, like, being very young, we get
a lot of pressure.
Like, we literally get taught to hate ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
From everything, from our parents. My mom was a model.
God.
My mom basically taught me firsthand how to have a you know? Like, I grew up when I was abducted, when I was kidnapped. The person.
I forgot about that. I remember you told me that story. You were kidnapped when I was kidnapped. Yeah.
They told me that I'm fat and I'm ugly. I look like Miss Piggy. He used to call me. That was his nickname for me, Miss Piggy.
Oh my
I grew
God.
up in Miss Piggy.
Oh my God. Oh, like, it's so fucked up.
Like, you know, we get taught that, and then the media comes in and they're like, try these pills to lose some weight because you're a fat fuck. Exercise because your thighs are too big. Your stomach.
Yes.
You have organs? No, not anymore.
Yes. Like, no, like I'll even call, like, my girlfriend sometimes, like, she'll, like, you know, she always wants, like, her perfect thigh gap, right? She'll always want her thigh gap, and then she'll have her thigh gap, and then she'll be laying down in a bed. She's like, well, I want a thigh gap even when I'm laying on my side. I'm like, what the fuck is that mentally? Like, what do you mean when you're laying on the side, like, on your literal side, you want a thigh gap still? Like, what the fuck? Like, and I know it has nothing to do, honestly, with the opposite gender or whatever it is wanting to be. It has nothing to do with sexual appeal. I feel like it has nothing to do with, like, oh, I want guys to look at me this way, or I want girls to look at me this way, or whatever. I feel like it's all just hating yourself. Like, it's just a never-ending game, and the goalpost constantly gets moved. It's like, okay, now you have your little thigh gap that you want. Oh, now I want it when I'm on my side.
Badass.
Yeah, and I can even know it from my own way. Like, I'll look back, and I'm sure you feel like this. Like, there were times where I hated myself the most, and they'll look at a photo of me, and I'll be like, I looked fucking so good then. What the if only I knew. You know, if only I knew how bad I would look now, I would have liked myself then. If only I knew. And that, I tell myself that every fucking day. Every day. And like, the age of stress is real. Like, I'm about to be 24 this week. My 24th birthday is coming up, and I am depressed, Nikki. Enjoy your youth. I'm withering away. I am withered. Do you ever watch SpongeBob as a kid?
Yeah.
Remember the thing that like chocolates? I hate it.
Yeah.
I feel like that. Like that's how I'm gonna have to be wheeled into my 24th fucking birthday is that chocolate fucking thing. Like if just especially because you've lived a weird life now. Definitely lived a very bizarre, interesting life. Like, and I think it's tiring. Like it is exhausting, and I feel like that. Like I feel like I need to be wheeled in to my 21st birthday, and I feel like what I've always loved about like having like my streamer friends or my YouTube friends, and again because I grew up working with these people since I was like a teenager, it's like I feel like sometimes there's like almost a language, and it has nothing to do with like, because they've been around clout and stuff like that. It just, when you're, especially in your formative years, like you're still so much in your formative years, there's only some stuff you can only relate to with those people, and that's how you get some really good friends, like your friend group, right? When you have like a Rihanna, you have like a Jack, you have like, a Minx, like you have like your tight friend group, and it's because you guys are all, businessly associated with each other with your streams and your brands that way, but you're also the only people that can really understand each other and like in a real way understand each other. And I definitely feel like that with like even my YouTube friends, even me working like behind the scenes all this long, it's like, it's hard to relate to people sometimes. It can be really hard personally, like to just be able to, like, I'm sure like right now, if you had to be in an Uber and you have to, tell the boomer Uber driver probably like what you do for a job, it's impossible, but if you have never had met Jack Manifold until just today, it would be super easy to describe Jack what you do. Be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? It's just, it makes it harder. It makes it hard, especially with all this online new shit. It makes it really fucking hard. Yeah. Going back on a weird question though, if you don't mind. Okay. So you talked about, I love that. I like talking to you so much because we both talk about depression and shit. I love being depressed. I love like little weird internet lore, even the ED stuff. Like I love that kind of shit. And I like that you fuck with movies because I'm a big movie review person. And I have been on, I don't know why, Nikki, but I have been on a binge of Nightmare on Elm Street shit. Just not Friday 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. Like I've just been on a horror binge about watching all these like video essays basically on like Nightmare on Elm Street. Did you ever watch Nightmare on Elm Street or anything like that?
I watched it years ago.
Like any fan of like an 80s slasher? You fuck with an 80s slasher film?
Not really. I'm not too big into slashers.
Okay,
like the only close to gore is the Saw movies that are really bad.
Okay, you like the Saw? Okay, you like this?
I love the Saw movies.
You love the Saw? Yeah. I would have never okay, whoa. Do you have a favorite?
Oh, I think the first one, honestly.
The first one is the best. Yeah. The first one is really good. No, that's okay. I would have never guessed Saw with you. Yeah, have you ever seen The Ring?
I think I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah. Just a little bit of The Ring?
No, I haven't. I've never finished it.
Because the first Ring was actually shot pretty well. It's actually pretty. I recently rewatched it. It's actually a pretty good movie. It's actually a pretty good movie. Like I actually do fuck with it. Like I would honestly recommend it. You should check it out. You should definitely check it out. I would love to put you in a horror movie. That'd be fun. That'd be really fun.
I would fucking love to play in a horror movie.
Oh, that'd be so
God,
cool.
Imagine.
That would be so cool. Fun. I would love that, but I feel like my problem with like being like in a movie like that is I don't think I can scream. I'm not a screamer. I'm not a loud guy that way. Like I'm an obnoxious guy for sure, but I'm not a loud guy that way. Like, do you think you could scream?
Yeah. No, I'm normally very quiet, obviously, but I think I would give myself that compliment that I'm a good actor.
Yeah,
I can act angry, I can act upset, and I can act scared.
Okay. I would love to see you in a horror movie.
I would love to be in a horror movie.
Okay, I fuck with that. Okay, how about this? Because I asked you a movie. If you could be in like any TV show, what would it be? Like any like show, like actress in any show universe.
I think it would be American Horror Story.
Okay, you know what?
The last few seasons, but the other ones, like
so I have watched that show. I'm not joking with you, Nikki. Since season 1's first premiere, I've watched that show since the beginning. I was about to start my freshman year at high school when that show first came out. Like I was young. I was a very young boy, and the first 3 seasons of that show, pretty fucking good TV. Like some really good moments. Yeah, some dumb stuff. Some things are kind of dated now when you look back at it. But a really good show. It changed my life forever. As dumb as that sounds, American Horror Story changed my life. And I know it's gone downhill. It's gone progressively, gotten some bad seasons. But that show, I'll always be a sucker for it. No matter what season it is, I'll always come back. They always have the most fire fucking trailers for AHS. Whoever makes their trailers better than the actual season. Like, do you remember? I don't know if you remember the trailer for Coven. Remember when Coven was coming out, like season 3, The Witches? Those trailers were fucking had snakes in bitches' mouths. Like, it was weird, you know. I'm like, it was like
The intros are
fucking so good. The intros are better than the show itself, and I don't know how that always happens. But no, like I'm thinking of American Horror Story. I'm actually excited because like season 10, I believe it's season 10, is about to come out, and it's something to do with like a lighthouse and water. Macaulay Culkin's in it. Some of the original cast is actually going to be back this time. Like, did you watch 1985?
No, I haven't finished it. I got bored. Honestly, I got bored of it.
It gets better the last quarter of that show. It actually gets better. I think it's the first season where they're just being kind of meta with, we know the show's ridiculous and got kind of stupid, so they're like, let's just do something stupid in the 80s. But it is okay. So what about true crime? Do you fuck with any true crime?
I love true crime.
Hell yeah.
Literally,
favorite serial killer
every morning I listen to true crime. Ooh, there was this guy, I don't remember his name because I'm horrible with names.
Okay.
There was this guy who in Japan who murdered a woman. I think like a British woman. Like, she lived in Japan, studying. He murdered her, and then he fucking got plastic surgery and changed his face.
Holy
so the police
shit.
can find him for the
Holy
money.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, that is devious. That is devious. Like, I've been watching a lot of stuff about Ted Bundy recently.
Not love Ted
I know what you
Bundy.
mean. I get it. I've been a horror junkie, like, and a true crime junkie since I was a little kid. Like, my mom always loved like true crime stuff, so I always grew up watching just true crime things. But no, I love the story 10. But Ted, that, like, again, like, I wish I could just sometimes just stream and just talk about just true crime and shit like that, because I fucking like, again, sick shit. Ted Bundy would not just, decapitate someone, which is crazy, right? He would kill, rape and kill a girl, decapitate them, and he would keep fucking their dead body for like weeks afterwards. Like, he described it like until they were literally rotting. That's someone's brain in the world. Do you know what I mean? That person exists somewhere. How the fuck? I can't imagine doing that. I can't even imagine, Like, but Ted Bundy's been one of my recent binges lately. I've just been on a Ted Bundy spree.
Who I find super interesting too is that guy who started the cult and then ended it by everyone killing themselves.
Oh, that happened in America. So what was that? Jim Jones, right? Is that Jim Jones? Is that the one you're talking about? Or Heaven's Gate? Because there's a couple of them.
Yes.
Oh, because you're talking about Heaven's Gate. So yeah, that was with the alien cult, right? Where the aliens are. So yeah, no, and those old videotapes and everything like that. No, I remember seeing a lot of the Heaven's Gate stuff. So have you ever so since you like cults, have you ever heard about Jim Jones? Jamestown?
Probably, honestly.
So just to jog your memory in case you do remember it. So before 9/11 happened in America, the biggest like disaster in terms of like loss of lives, like in a mass way like that, was actually Jim Jones, Jamestown, I believe. And like I think it was like 900 people, all like mass suicide in quotes. Like, they really just killed everyone that didn't like actually suicide too. They were shooting them, and fucking insane. I can't imagine oh, hello kitty. Hello, what's your cat's name?
Zuko.
Oh, that's fire. But literally fire. I mean, that's really cool. Like,
Zuko and Top are our cats.
Okay, that's Zuko right there. How old's Zuko?
Zuko is turning a year this month.
A year?
Yeah.
Okay, I fuck with Zuko. I just adopt. Well, we're fostering right now a puppy. We foster like animals like that are usually like sick from the Humane Society and stuff. So this is like a 4-month-old puppy with a broken leg that we're fostering for the next 2 months, like taking care of it. And like I was saying to my girlfriend, I'm like, you're gonna have such a hard time letting go of a puppy after 2 months. Like, we're about to bond. Like, we just got the puppy today. We're bonding with a puppy for 2 months. And then we're just gonna be like, peace. Like, you think this is gonna go over easy? No, that's gonna be tears. That's gonna be real fucking tears. Real fucking tears.
I mean, same for the puppy.
Same for the puppy. I already know what's gonna happen, because when you're like fostering for the Humane Society, if you want to adopt at the end, you get 20% off on like the adopt. I just know it. I know I'm paying that adoption fee for like $300. I already felt like today. I'm like, yeah, I just know I'm keeping your ass, and it's like a little greyhound puppy too. It's like a tiny tiny little gray. And I've never been a fan of those fucking things. I've never looked at a greyhound and gone, oh, cute. Like, honestly, like, she was giving me shit for it before we got the puppy today. I was like, that thing is kind of ugly. And I'm like, honestly, she's like, who calls a puppy ugly? Oh my god, who calls a puppy? I'm like, I'll call a puppy fucking ugly. It's kind of ugly. It was like, I was kind of an ugly baby. That's kind of an ugly puppy. But it's actually really fucking cute. I find it charming. I find it really fucking charming. And I've never been the biggest, like, I like animals, but I've never been like, oh my god, they're my life. But I like this puppy. I fuck with this puppy.
Aww.
I'd be liking a puppy. I'd be liking a puppy.
Really sweet.
Do you drink?
Okay, so my story with drinking and drugs is very not very interesting, honestly. It's I used to do it a lot when I was young because I got into the wrong circles, got out of it, and didn't do anything for a while except for weed. Then every time I would get high, I thought I would die. So I haven't smoked weed in like years, and then I moved to the UK and started drinking, and now I kind of want to stop again because eating disorder.
Oh my god, Nikki, I want to shake you. I want to shake you. You're crazy. You're fucked up to yourself. My god.
I know. That's the thing. I'm self-aware.
What's your drink of choice before the ED kicks in?
Pink gin lemonade.
Okay, I fuck with some gin. Okay, pink gin lemonade. That sounds really good. That sounds really good.
Red wine has always been my go-to.
Red wine. Oh, I like a dry red wine. Like, I like a dry red wine. Like, I like a really dry red wine. I've been, Minx can tell you a story once. When her and I first hung out, I was like 19 at the time. We met in England, and our friend took us to like a wine tasting event, and I got thrown the fuck out of the wine tasting event because I got so drunk. Nikki, I got so fucking drunk. And I got cut off, not of just the alcohol, but I got cut off of the meats and cheeses at this wine tasting event. Do you know how fucked up you have to be where they're like, you don't even get food anymore? Like, you have to leave. And the way I left, Minx will tell you this, the way I left, they cut me off of alcohol. I was like bringing Minx, and this is my first day meeting Minx. I was like, hey, I'd lock arms with her. I'm like, walk up there and grab alcohol for me, like sneak alcohol for me. So she was sneaking me more alcohol, and I was just getting, of course she would, right? I'm like so fucking drunk, and then they're like, okay, you need to go, and I'm like, fine. I grabbed 2 full bottles of wine, and I just walked out of the place. Like, I just stole 2 bottles of wine, and like my YouTube friend had to pay for it, so I didn't have to pay for shit. But yeah, no, that was a good time. That was a good time. You ever been to a wine tasting event?
No.
I'll take you.
Okay.
I'll take you to a wine tasting event. So you're not down for weed, okay? So weed's out of the table. Weed just like out of the equation. Acid?
I took acid once or twice, but I'm not one for like chemical drugs. Like, I'm not one for like pills and stuff. Like, I tried a lot.
What was your acid experience like? How old were you? Where were you? What was going on?
Okay, the first time I was too young to say on Twitch.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay. I was 16 when I first did acid. I'll say it. I was 16. You don't have to, but I will. But go on.
I was fresh out of the psych ward.
Oh my god. Who the fuck gets out the psych ward and goes, now it's time that I drop some acid. I think now.
Oh no. So every psych ward I was in, I either got thrown out, or something else happened that I had to leave.
How the fuck do you get thrown out of a psych ward? How do they gotta go? Okay. You're taking up space.
Okay. So I got thrown out twice. Okay, the first time I got thrown out, I was in the same room with this girl, and we both had eating disorders, and they normally wouldn't put just like girls with eating disorders together, but they put us together. So we fell out every fucking day. We had to scream.
Oh god.
Ripped our hair out. It was horrible. We would lock ourselves in the bathroom and not talk to anyone, or just scream at them. Horrible. Make ourselves feel bad, like literally trigger each other.
Oh god, just the worst mix. The worst.
Honestly, bad. Yeah. Like, looking back to it, I'm not that person anymore. I feel horrible. Like,
yeah, just a fucked up time in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was just a fucked up time.
2 tornadoes clash.
And that's why I believe that everyone that makes mistakes and can learn from their mistakes. But I was horrible at them.
Yeah.
And she was too. It was not great. But the ward under us burned down. Like literally the whole floor burned down because someone started a fire in there.
God.
So now, like all of these people, because that was the closed unit. That was the unit of people who have been there for 3 years.
Yeah.
Who are a danger to themselves and other people, and they disappeared. They escaped. And after like a few hours, like the police would drag them back in, and like it was horrible. But they had to come up to our ward because our ward was another closed ward, and they had to get into a closed ward.
Oh God.
So now the psych ward was too full, and who better to throw out?
You're throwing out the eating disorder girls. Yeah, you guys gotta go.
I've been causing trouble for the past weeks. So we both got thrown out. She got admitted into an adult ward because she was already 18. I wasn't.
You weren't.
So I was
oh my God.
left there. The second time.
That's so bad.
Worse. The second time I got thrown out, I was in a DBT clinic. So like for people with borderline personality disorder.
Okay.
And
oh God.
What comes with borderline?
Everyone's just gaslighting each other there.
Disorders. Also that.
So they all have eating disorder. Wait. So with BPD comes a lot of eating disorder.
Well, BPD has so many underlying, and that's why, honestly, BPD gets misdiagnosed so many times just because it comes with so many other things.
Okay, I did not know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, but a thing of that is eating disorders.
Yeah.
And we had many girls with bulimia. Bulimia is coming with BPD.
Yeah.
I had anorexia. I wouldn't eat.
And bulimia is throwing up, right? Bulimia is like making yourself throw. Okay.
So those would go unnoticed because we had our bathrooms in our rooms. So those would most of the time go unnoticed until it was like bad.
Yeah.
My eating disorder wouldn't, because I would sit at the table and I wouldn't eat.
And you just wouldn't, so they know when you're not, when yours,
I lost so much weight. They kept monitoring my weight, and they kept like force feeding me. I had feeding tubes all the time. Fucking horrible.
And you're not even 18 yet at this time, right?
No.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Who the fuck is like 15?
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck is 15 with feeding tubes? Oh my God.
But like, I was, at some point they were like, okay, if you don't eat, we're just gonna throw you out because this is for borderline. This is a clinic where we treat borderline personality. We make you learn how to deal with that, and not with your eating disorder. So I was like, okay, fuck you then. Like, and then
throw me out.
Also, because my therapist, I shit you not, she 100% had an eating disorder.
Oh, did she have an eating disorder, you think? 100%?
Yeah.
I have my therapist that I had before, I'll be honest with you. Like, I've talked about her before. I really nice lady, really nice. But when coronavirus happened, she would, like, switch our therapy sessions just to, like, phone calls. I'm pretty sure my therapist was drunk, like 90% of my phone calls with her. I think she had a drinking problem. I think Denise was a lovely woman, but I think she liked her wine. Denise liked her wine a little bit too much and would be, give me therapy sessions drunk. Like, you ever get some bad advice?
Why your therapist is a therapist,
They're fucked up people. They're all fucked up people.
I want to become a psychiatrist. Why? Because I'm fucked up.
Exactly.
And I know how people who are fucked up feel.
No, it's so true. It's like I feel like the only way you can have that natural like curiosity of and wanting to help people that are fucked up, something has to be wrong with you too. You know what I mean? There's some one too much of one chemical, not enough of another chemical pumping through your fucking brain. You know what I mean? There's just some shit that is just off. And okay, I have kind of a personal question. Are you on any antidepressants now, or any sort of?
No, I used to be.
I'm not on any either.
But
do you want to get on any or no?
I feel like everyone thinks about it, but I decided not to because I don't know. I feel I don't.
I'm very cross to how I feel about it, right? Because in some ways, like, there's definitely people that need to be on something like that, and it really works for some people. There's definitely, but another part of me, it's like, it's so important, and especially because how people are so misdiagnosed, you know what I mean? Like, you talk about it too. So many people are just misdiagnosed, like, you have BPD or this, that, and the other, and then you start getting on a medication that's directed for something like that, and you're fucking with your brain chemistry. Like you are permanently fucking messing with your brain, like how you work, everything about you, you know. It's not just like you're taking some Advil, you know what I mean, for a headache, you know, or what is it, paracetamol over there, right? Oh, your head hurts, you know what I mean, take some paracetamol. This is a brain chemistry chemical that is going to affect you for the rest of your life. And that's why it's like, if I were to get on something like that, I would just super be an adult and do real research and really be like, is this really what I need and what I want? But I don't. I like abusing drugs. That's what's so fucked up about me. Like if I was at a club right now and someone handed me a pill and told me it was Molly, I'd be thanks, and I'd just shoot the shit, you know. But if like someone hands me, like even when someone's giving me an Advil, I'm like, well, what's the milligrams on this? You know, like I'm very like I don't know why my brain is that way. I don't even know why it is that way at all.
No, I get it. And like a big thing with antidepressants also is I used to have to get my heart used to have to get monitored like every month because I have a heart condition because of the not because of the antidepressants, but it got worse. Yeah. And also, if I were to take antidepressants right now, I know I'm probably gonna off myself because the first few months you take antidepressants, you have to be hard monitored because it makes it worse before it makes it better.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like most of them make it worse before they make it better. And I am at this point where I'm like, I don't need to get monitored. I'm perfectly fine.
No,
like,
you know that crash would just take you way too low. So again, exactly. I didn't mean to dive us off. So you get kicked out of the mental hospital. How do you do acid? Like, what's your acid story? What is it like?
Oh yeah. I
derailed us.
Yeah, no, I got kicked off. And there was this guy who I met in the mental hospital who I had a crush on.
Of course.
And he was
mental hospital love. Mental hospital love. It's a different love.
Drugs.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The only reason why he liked me was because I had blue hair, by the way. But he introduced me to it, and he introduced me to all those people who then got me into the circle of horrible things.
Yep. And so when did you do it? Like, were you outside? Were you in a house? Were you at a party?
So it was at my place. So it was a friend's birthday, and my parents weren't home. And I was like, yeah, no, you can come to my place. And before that, I also got I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that on Twitch, but like other mind controlling drugs, hallucinogens.
Ketamine.
No.
DMT.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, Nikki. Fuck yeah. You got some. Okay. Okay.
So we mixed that.
Okay.
And we mixed weed too. So we mixed all of those things.
Oh my god. So wait, you're on acid, shrooms, and you're smoking weed. Okay. Fire as fuck, Nikki. Okay, go on.
Yeah. It was fine. It was an alright night. Luckily, no one had a bad trip, and no one had a bad experience. Had experience with it. So it was all good. He took care of all of us because he was experienced.
That is an intense first trip, Nikki. I want you to know that is you really had a trip. And like I feel like I'm happy you've done it because you can understand like when I would hear people talk about acid and like hallucinogens and stuff like that before you did it, it sounds so hippy dippy, you know what I mean? It's just like you had a good trip. But when you understand what tripping is like when you really do trip like for the first time or something, like you do get it. It is weird. It's like this other thing, this other experience you're having. And I fuck with it. It's been almost a year since I last did like acid or anything like that, but I like it. It feels like a little brain massage, you know what I mean? It's a weird time, but I've definitely overdone it too. Like the first time I did acid, I did 4 tabs of acid with my friend, and we had a horrible experience. My first acid time was just my first acid trip was horrible. I
think I have to hang out my responsible streamer here and say I didn't like. It's nothing that I really need or ever needed, and I stopped like very quickly after
That's good.
I got out of that social circle. So
no, I have a drug dependency. I've talked about this very candidly on my stream. But it's been a hot minute, honestly. Like I'll mostly joke about it. Like I'll talk about my drug use and things like that. And honestly, I'll be straight up about it. Like I do crave it sometimes. Like when you get like a sweet tooth craving. I will be like that over some disgusting shit. I'll be like that when I'm thinking about cocaine sometimes. Or I'm like, oh my God, I just want to do coke. Like it's like a sweet tooth. It's like when I want to go out and get a fucking Kit cat bar practically, you know, like I'll be like that, fiending over coke, daydreaming, idolizing it. And I read something a few months ago that was interesting to me about like drug addicts. And have you ever heard of serotonin syndrome?
Yes.
So serotonin syndrome is basically you can fuck up the levels in your brain, like chemical levels, where you're not producing enough serotonin even naturally anymore. And that happens in a lot of cases with ex-drug addicts, that they basically fucked up their serotonin levels for so long. When they finally do get clean, you would think they'd be happy, you know what I mean? Life's going better, but they're going to start massively feeling depressed because they have permanently damaged their serotonin levels. And I think about that sometimes because I'm like, I definitely have fucked around with drugs way too long at a very young age for a long period of my life, at periods of my point, like in my life way longer than other periods in my life, and I'm like, I've definitely done something. I think I've definitely done some sort of like brain damage that way in terms of just like my serotonin levels probably being off forever. But it's like I always think like, how shitty is that? Imagine you live 20 years on the streets smoking meth, and then you finally get clean and you're like, well, damn, now I'm depressed. And that's how a lot of them fall back into addiction, is because they hit this wall of depression and they start glorifying, you know, the days of when they were on drugs. But what it is just that serotonin level thing. They just fucked up their serotonin levels. Crazy though. Fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. I also want to say, Nikki, you are so real for being on my stream. You gain nothing for doing things like this with me. I gain everything in this situation.
I'm having a good conversation,
Well,
Jagger.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Especially when you're like streaming for 7 fucking hours. I'm like, you're just real as shit that you really pull it through. Like you actually fucking pull it through. Like you're a cool person. I just want you to know, I consider you a real friend, Nikki. Like I do fuck with you. You're nice. And you got good music.
You have to come to the UK, Jagger.
I know. I have my ticket over there. I'm fully vaxxed now. I finally got fully vaxxed. Pfizer gang. Are you vaxxed yet or not?
I have the first vaccine, but I'm terrified of it because of my heart. Like my mom, the first time the vaccine came out, my mom was like, "Don't fucking do it. You are gonna like you're literally endanger yourself."
Yeah.
But now I'm like, yeah, but everyone's getting vaccinated.
Everyone, yeah. No, but I forget. You have to think about your heart condition all the time. God, dude, God really did a number on you, huh? Before he sent you out into the world, he was like, we're going to fuck up her heart. We're going to make her hate herself. She's going to get kidnapped. You know what I mean? She'll call into eating disorder Twitter. We're just really going to shake this one. We're just going to shake this one before we throw it out.
It's an experiment. Like, how much can a person take before they break?
Oh, I know.
But we're also going to give her the pressure of having to be, like, this responsible adult person.
Oh, we'll make her popular, but it's gonna be hell. Exactly. We'll make it popular, but it's gonna be hell. It's just gonna be hell. It's just gonna be hell. And like, you know, in some ways, I'm sure you can understand this. I bet, like, you know, I bet if you would have had this success just 2 years ago, it would have probably been way worse for you mentally.
Oh yeah.
Way worse. You probably would have handled it all way more poorly. And I just want you to know, like, it blows my mind that you're only 19, like, all the fucking time. Like, it just, because you come across as such, like, I wish I would have been, like, in your mindset when I was 19. But you've just lived a life. Like, you do get it. You've just really lived a life, you know? And I think sometimes there's no better way of putting it than being like, you just get it. Whatever that it is. I do feel like you actually understand it. And you get it, Nikki. Like, you've been through it. You're an old soul, bitch. You've been around here for a long time. You got fucking kidnapped. I just fucking can't. That is so. You'll say some shit sometimes that is so out of pocket that way that I'm like, because I would never look at you and be like, that girl fell into ED Twitter and, you know, did acid and shrooms and has been kidnapped. You know, she's lived in like different countries. Like you've really been in mental hospitals. Like, oh my God, Nikki. You're gonna write a good book one day. You're gonna write a good little book.
Oh yeah, I already have. Like my therapist like wrote everything together in a short thing, so it's like that's already like what.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you must get, especially because, you know, the past, you know, year and a half of your life's been so crazy with everything online blowing up. It's weird when you start like having memories of shit and you're like, how did this all even happen in a timeline? Like, it all feels so mixed and your own life starts to feel so mixed. You're like, how did this all happen in just 1 year? Like, how the fuck, like, it feels like years, and some stuff feels just like yesterday. It's so confusing. Like, your own timeline is even so confusing. So I bet it does feel like good in a therapeutic way to really like put it all down and like write it, so way you can even understand it too. Like, I feel like sometimes I need to do that, where I just need to write down my life, you know what I mean? And I feel like writing down my own timeline will make it be able to be more clear for me to understand who I am right now, you know what I mean? Because it can get hard. You can get lost in your own universe that way. And I feel like maybe doing something like that would, for me, I'd try it. I'd fucking try it.
Yeah, I mean, it even helps with like you know how like trauma causes memory loss,
Yeah.
and it does. It causes memory loss, and it causes memory fog. Like, you know, and once you sit down and you really say, okay, so this happened then, and after that this happened, and then after that this happened, it that fog and like that like, did this happen and when did this happen? You know, like
Yeah.
I'm at this point where I'm like, I'm 19 years old. When did all these things happen?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Like, how did
what
this even?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like, I feel like you say, I feel like I've lived a whole life, and I'm also
Yeah.
at the point where I'm like, when does it end? When can
Because you're
rest?
only just 19 years old.
Yeah, like
No.
I want to retire. I want to
No,
just sit
and that's what really, like, sometimes, like, before I'm like really quick to judge somebody or to even crucify someone online, I always have to remember life is messy. Life is
Yeah.
really confusing. You know what I mean? It's really easy to just to think of things in black and white of like a person's good or bad, but life is messy, life is confusing, life is crazy. You know, and I'm sure you get it. Like, you've been here, you know, for 19 years. Bitch, you've been kidnapped, you've been sent into multiple mental institutions, you know what I mean? Like, you've been, and I'm sure shit you don't even want to talk about on a stream, right? Like, just life, just crazy, horrible shit. And it's like, that's life for almost everybody, you know what I mean? Everyone has their own story, everyone has their own personal journey, and I would just always remind myself that before I'm just a massive piece of shit, like, yeah, fuck that person. It's like, it's probably a lot more into this whole thing, you know? And that's what I love about it, like, even a documentary, right? It's like, we can all know about a murder case, right? And then you start hearing all of this, you're like, how the fuck? You know what I mean? It's just, it's always that. There's always more, you know what I mean? There's always more underneath something. There's just always fucking more. Always fucking more. You've been a trooper.
That's why I like love true crime, because a lot of the people, because I listen Bailey Sarian, I love her, and she tells a lot of it, and she talks about the childhood and the upbringing of the person that like committed the true crime case, whatever it is. And when you look at it, of course it doesn't justify it, but it makes so much sense. You know, and I feel like that's what it is with like a lot of people too. But then again, like I said, people can change. If my friends from like years, if you met my friends from years ago right now, they would shit talk me so bad. They would be like, she's a horrible person. She, you know, stuff like that. And it's like, I did horrible things in the past, and I will never say I didn't. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm a human. I did mistakes and I did horrible things. But people can change and people can learn. But like, also, a lot of the times it fucking makes sense.
Well, you know, I was watching this, I was reading this article recently, and they were talking about like child psychology in terms of like trauma with children, right? And especially it's like, you know, when you get into stuff of like, you know, a lot of like pedophiles and stuff were usually kids that were like, you know, boys a lot of the time that were molested themselves when they were younger. And they were talking about how boys and girls deal with trauma differently. And that boys a lot of the time tend to mimic the trauma that was caused to them at a very young age, and girls don't. And I find that really, it's different. That's very interesting to me. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what to do with that information, but it was interesting. It made me go, oh, that's something. And that was definitely a something for me. I was like, that's crazy. And it makes sense when you start thinking about it, you know, like the more I thought on that, I'm like, I can see how boys a lot of times might mimic a trauma where girls rather, I don't know how. Y'all go through a lot. I'm so happy I didn't get born with like a vagina. Like, oh my God. Like it'd be fun. Like it'd be kind of cool here and there. You know what I mean? I would have fun with it. But at the same time, like it causes some extra shit that's just not worth it. You know what I mean? Like definitely having a penis in current stage right now is like having like a Tesla Model S. You know what I mean? Like a cool Tesla. And having a vagina, it's like, it's a Subaru. Like, don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with a Subaru. I'd take a free Subaru. It still drives, it still works, but it's not a Model S. You know what I mean? It's not a Model S. But maybe one day. And that's not me just sitting here calling you a Subaru. And me a Model S. But, you know, you might be. But I want to thank you, Nikki. I've kept you for way too long now. Been like an hour and 40. I appreciate it, though. I've had a great time with you, and I think this was a little fun. We didn't even get to play Roblox. I don't even give a fuck. I don't even care.
Well, that just means I have to come another time.
Shit, fuck, please. I need it. I need the clout. I need it, Nikki. Thank you. Thank you so much. Also, you know I'm gonna do it again. Wave to the YouTube video, Nikki. Give a big little wave to the YouTube video. Hell yeah. Will you say JaggerXTC down bad Adderall gang?
JaggerXTC down bad Adderall gang.
Thank you. Shout out to her sponsors. Shout out to her esports team. Who you signed with, real quick?
Guilty Sports. I don't think they want to see this.
No, whatever. Never mind. We don't know who they are. We don't know who they are. But thank you so much, Nikki. I'm gonna let you go, but I appreciate it. You're the best. You're like seriously, you're the best. I appreciate it. Let me go to the fuck him. But
Just let me know when you want to play Roblox. I'm not free any day like next week, but
don't worry. Like I'll hit you up after next week. How about that?
all right. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that
Hell
sounds
yeah.
good.
Have a good one. See you, dude.
All right. Thank you. Bye,
Thank you.
Jagger.
Bye.
Jag. Bye.
Bye.
JaggerXTC, man. What's poppin'?